It's the holiday season, and in today's episode of Wait, What Do You Do Again? We're talking all things holiday hosting with event planner and designer Paige Netting-Lentini from In Good Company Events. We talk about where to actually start, hint, it's your budget, and your why, how to make a big impact without spending a ton, ways to set up your home so that you can actually enjoy the party instead of just working it, and how to catch a vibe without going crazy on Pinterest. If you're hosting anything this holiday season, whether it's a cozy dinner, to cocktail party, to a full-on New Year's Eve bash, this one's for you. Okay, let's go. Paige, I'm so glad that you're here today. We are talking holiday hosting, all things holiday events, things like that. You've built In Good Company, which is built around creating beautiful, meaningful gatherings. So what does good company mean to you?
Exactly what you just said. So when you hire us, we want you to feel like you're in good company. We want everything to be done with intention. We don't want to be the strangers that are showing up on the milestones of your life, whether that be a wedding, whether that be a corporate event, or whether that be a holiday hosting. We want to be somebody who has created a relationship with our clients, and we don't want to be the person standing in the background that sticks out like a sore thumb. We want to be the person who is there for you from the very beginning, talking through your tablescape to the grand event that you're planning. So being in good company means that you're in good company and you're
Yes.
always in good hands with the people that we have on our team.
That's awesome. That's really great. And when people are coming to you or when they're thinking about hosting an event, and let's say in this case, it could be something holiday related, like where do you even start with people? Like, do you start with budget? Do you start with size? Like, how do you guide people through that to even, you know, start to think about how to plan?
Budget.
Yeah.
It's all about money. So within our process, we always sit down and we do talk about what the budget looks like and break it down to key points. Now, when the In Good Company was founded and the mission behind In Good Company and why we were founded is because we want to make, like I just said, make sure that you're in good company and you're not worried about certain things. So the aspect behind how we build our events is actually by starting with those building blocks within a budget. So building out those separate columns of everything that somebody wants, we can help them identify the vendors that would be able to make it come to life for them. So when people do hire us, we kind of pride ourselves in the fact that we pass off our vendor discounts to them because it ultimately is what ends up paying our contract. Because we want you to have a good event. We want it to reflect not only you and what you can do, but also us. So by starting with that budget, we're able to build out specific things. And holiday events, they're so precious to so many people. So once you figure out where your budget lies, we figure out if it's a tradition, if it's something that's super, super important that needs to be tied in. Like you want to capture photos of everybody. So we either want a photo booth or we want a photographer. So what does that look like for you? And really just pinpoint those items to make sure that it can be hosted properly.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, like, how do you help people stay within a realistic budget? Where do you find it worth saving, and where do you find it worth, like, splurging a little bit?
That's a fun question. I think it varies per the person. My husband and I are really big foodies. So if that is something that my client feels is super important, then that's where we're going to splurge. If somebody's really design heavy, it's okay, well, what type of design do you like? Is it going to be doing more florals or the balloon arches and things like that? How do we tie that into ultimately what you want? So I was actually listening to one of your podcasts today with Amanda, Designing with Intention, and her doing her e-design. And we do a lot of that and tying in how we can utilize their Pinterest boards and their inspiration photos. And now Pinterest for the event industry is so different than maybe the design world because someone can bring a photo to you and say, this is exactly what I want. Let's talk about Taylor Swift. You know, she's hot in the moment right now. Her engagement is huge and I want this and I want it to look like this. Ma'am, that's like $500,000 worth of florals. So how can we scale it back for you? So
Right.
it's a lot of those designing with intention is really figuring out what is super important to the client. And that's always within that budget conversation that we're constantly going to have. Okay, how can we scale it back if this is really important to you, but this is your budget? How are we going to make this look? Even if it's just a photo op for you and it's not your entire tablescape, how can we make it work for you with your budget?
Yeah, like create a step and repeat with the Taylor Swift engagement photo, like flowers.
Something that you
Just
get
make it look
and then
great.
some 3Ds in front of it. So you have the real life and then,
Exactly. I mean, it was really stunning. What are some of your favorite maybe low cost touches that you find, like let's say for dinner or some sort of
Mhm.
like affair like that, you find make a big difference or a big impact? And as you're kind of thinking about it, like I had a friend who um, decorated for Christmas, and I was like, wow, that really amazing. How do you do this in people's budgets? And it was the Dollar Tree. It was a dollar store.
Yeah.
Like 70% of what they bought, and then they just the way that they arranged it and
Hmm.
layered it, and I was blown away. And as you can see in my background, it's very very luxe. But I have taken that from her. I'm like, oh, you can really actually find some low cost things, do it with maybe some other pieces, and it makes a big impact. Where have you seen when you're working with people, maybe something that people don't think about that often that's low cost, high impact?
Table arrangements just in themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
having not only a cooler napkin, some like as simple as a napkin can be, you can have linen napkins, you can have the polyester napkins, anything that's like that, just doing a funkier fold, something
Mm-hmm.
that, talking about the holidays, doing a Christmas tree, you can do swans, you can do different
Yeah.
things that just elevates the table without even really putting too much effort into it. And then
Yeah.
even your table arrangements in the sense of where people are sitting. So doing table tents and things that are even just hand calligraphied, or a Christmas tree with that, a different shape that could be not normal, having a
Mm-hmm.
bell, something that is just added to the tablescape. The Dollar Tree is so underrated. Five Below, like truthfully, if you're over here doing something for yourself, for your family on your
Yeah.
dining room table, thrifting, oh my gosh. Goodwill is so underrated too. Believe it or not, a lot of event designers do thrift and do go to Goodwill and antique stores in the area because it's actually better quality than what you can get nowadays from
Yeah.
wholesalers and Amazon. And where people typically turn, we probably have about a collection of 50 pieces of silver and crystal that has just been collected from thrifting and doing those things.
Yeah.
And that just helps elevate a table too. And it's something that you can keep that has the quality that where the Dollar Tree and Five Below are great for one-off things where you're probably not going to use next year. Doing those things within your means at a thrift store of that nature too is stuff how you can build your hosting collection that is able to be utilized year after year.
Yeah, I am so envious that you have space and a real reason to have like all these different sets. Okay, so Paige, I came to you. I said, all right, I have $2 to spend for 500 people for this dinner. We've talked through budget, and now, like, how do you help your clients identify what they are going to find as success from the event? Like, how do you kind of walk them through that of like what's their guiding star for how they move forward from there?
Yeah. So thinking more like ROI aspect, if we're talking about a larger client that needs an ROI, or like someone hosting a holiday party.
Yeah, I think just like I'm thinking as we think of like a holiday party, like let's take away the company aspect of it, right?
Okay.
Like you want to bring people together, but I think sometimes, at least I'll speak for myself, when
Hmm.
I was early in my hosting days, and I love to host, it's like my love language. Um, but I would get so caught up in like, oh, do I have, the best XYZ, or do I have enough liquor? Or like I got like
Hmm.
so caught up in the details, I didn't think about like, what do I want people to leave this event feeling? Like, how do I define success for this event? Is it
Yeah.
like you almost said before, like, do I want them to leave and have like the most amazing meal they've had all holiday season? Or is it, do I want to bring a group of random people from my life together. Like, how do you walk through that with people so they don't get distracted by all the shiny things
I
on
see. Yeah.
Pinterest and, and things like that?
Yeah. Well, I tell people as soon as they've hired us to get off of social media, first and foremost, if they can help it. But in the conversation of really kind of like you said, like how are we pinpointing this is what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Why are you hosting this in the first place? Are you hosting it because it's your turn to host your family Christmas or Hanukkah or anything, dinner, Thanksgiving? Like, or is it because you all alternate? And if that's the case, then that's as simple as that. It's your family that you're bringing together, and it's your turn. So what makes you you, and what is going to make your cousin Sue feel like she had the Paige experience or the Megan experience? And so if you're somebody, like you said, Megan, one of the first things you would always think about is, do we have enough liquor? Do we have enough food? And that's what you like, that's what comes to your mind when you host. It's as simple as, okay, I'm just going to hire a bartender that brings in everything and is going to cook for me. And really taking away the noise from everything. Whereas me, I'm huge on my decor. I want the tablescape to be what it is. We're a big potluck family, so it's one of those things that's like everyone's going to get what they get. So I want my centerpieces to be outrageous. And then that's where we know the money for this particular event for Paige would go. And then same thing for you, is the money for you should go to a private chef coming in, or catering coming in, and a bartender coming in, because the noise then dissipates for you throughout your hosting and you get to actually enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was on Income Company's website, and the flower arrangements are unbelievable. I mean, they are really incredible. So I'm not surprised to hear you say that.
That is all my business partner. I cannot take any credit for that. I am purely your design and logistic girl. I am a year and a half into my floral journey. She's been doing this a very long time.
It was, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to come back for inspiration on this. It was really amazing. And like, for someone who, we obviously are a little bit more comfortable than hosting, let's say it's your first time, like you said, maybe it's your turn in the family or friend group. If you're like a little intimidated, what would you say to someone to kind of have that mindset shift, so to speak, of like, you might be a little intimidated hosting this, but think about X?
In the case of the holidays coming up, that your family and your friends are going to be together once for one of the only opportunities during the year. And that this is going to be the only people in your life who support you for what you do anyway, and are going to have the time of their life one way or another. Unless you have family drama, we can't do anything about that. But
that's what the liquor's for.
Breath.
Yeah,
exactly. Just take a deep breath. That's all. Like, you know, this time is all about joy and what you've done during the year to come together and actually celebrate each other in the time of the year that it is, and celebrate your religions and everything that happens during those times when you're actually getting to enjoy your time together. And most of the time, I mean, my family is like the family that dresses up, and like, even though we're going to grandma's house, my husband's family is come as you are. Like, you can come in pajamas, and we're all fine with that. So if you're the family that gets dressed up to come together, like, that's also great. But just remember, you're still family that's coming together, and you could still show up in pajamas and they would be happy. So it's just one of the things that when people do come to us to help with their overall event feel, and whether that's their decor or bringing in vendors for those larger holiday parties that they do have, the first thing that I do say is, okay, take a deep breath. You've hired someone to take care of this for you. You don't have to be involved if you don't want to be involved, or you can be as involved as you want to be, because again, it is your holidays, but it's an opportunity for you to still take a deep breath. Because you have time off of work, you have the time with your family coming together. It's just always one of those, hosting needs to be and should be fun no matter what. That's it's a party, and if you forgot the olives for the martinis, you're just drinking vodka, and that's okay.
It's okay. And I think like another thing that you said, and especially going back to the budget, like, I think it's great to bring vendors in, especially for like your pain points. And even if that's like a drop off situation, ask people to help you, right? Like say,
Exactly.
I have learned over the years, I've tried to be more present at events, at when I'm hosting things at my house, and I'll put people in charge. I'm like, can you take pictures for me? Like,
Hmm.
or hey, can you come like a little bit early and help me set up these tables or things like that? And
Exactly.
I don't know why I used to feel really weird about that, and I was like, I love helping people set up. So it's a
Yeah.
nice way to also to engage other people. Like you don't have to take all of it on yourself, whether it's
Right.
bringing outside people in or deputizing your your friends and family with that. Um, and do you have any like go-to tricks that sort of like elevate an event, whether it's scent or light, or you were talking about
Always.
tablescapes? Like, what are some of your
Yes.
little insider tricks that can elevate quickly?
Always have a scent one way or another.
Mm.
If you let's talk about weddings for a second.
Hmm.
Go get yourself a few diffusers, as long as if it's a venue, allows you to have a venue. If you can't have a diffuser in your venue, have a few candles spread out that have scents, not all of them because
Hmm.
it's far too overwhelming. Up lighting, be out the wazoo. Any event that
Yes.
I like, every corner, if you can have like whatever event that we have here when we host, I always rent up lighting. It
Hmm.
is so cost effective for how it changes the mood. And we're my friend group we love to dance, and after my 31st birthday, I had lighting throughout the house for the event in itself. All the older adults left, and we changed it to the party mode, and we just danced in my living room.
I love
So
it.
it easily changes no matter what it can be. So outside of lighting and scent, always upgrade your napkin if you can. Like
Mm.
I said, napkins can change the game. So as simple as a cocktail napkin that has a border around it, that's just a paper throwaway. That's an easy situation.
Hmm.
And then your dinner napkins. So instead of just having, again, that um, white napkin that can be tossed, or even like a bounty paper towel, get rid of
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Upgrade it to just a polyester if you're somebody who doesn't want to spend too much money, or just invest in yourself a nice linen set that you can get from Pioneer Woman, or Crate and Barrel, or Pottery
Yeah.
Barn. Anything like that that you can just keep in your little hosting drawer will
Hmm.
elevate the simplest of things. And those would be the three that would be, I would say, the most budget friendly for those who are keeping that in mind. But
Yeah.
other than that, there's so
Yeah.
many other things that you can definitely do.
It's interesting because I definitely learned that from you and your team when we worked there together. The
Mm-hmm.
uplighting made
Oh,
a huge difference in those spaces. The spaces that we were in were sort of nondescript, right? And so that's a blessing and a curse. And the
mm-hmm.
uplighting really changed the space. And you did a lot of other really cool stuff too. And the napkins is interesting to hear. I'm definitely going to take that trick. Um, and I like using napkins, just like cloth napkins in everyday life. And
Yeah,
like I pack my lunch with them. And so you don't have to just save it for the party, like use it afterwards,
exactly.
and
A
it's,
million percent. I
yeah,
feel
which
like
is
it
so
upgrades
nice.
your life. Like you,
Yes.
you can have family dinner sitting down with those napkins, and you look down, you're like, oh, I just tied a little knot, and
Yeah.
I have a nice dinner.
Yes, yes. And I mentioned him before, a good friend of mine, Leo Yanez. Leo, if you're listening, I've never forgotten this gift. I still use it. He got me a napkin folding book like years ago. I would think I was like 23, 24 years old. And I still use it, and it's really fun. It's like really fun to do these little
That's really
napkin
cool.
designs. Yeah.
What is that called?
I don't know. I think he probably got it from like TJ Maxx or something. It
Okay.
was just like one of those nondescript books. And it was just like, I think there's like 50 different, maybe 50 is a lot, but it's like somewhere between 25 and 50 different like napkin folds you can do. And it's such a nice way, like you said, to elevate your table. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
a fun little thing to do. The other thing too is my house isn't huge by any means, but it's definitely bigger than where I lived in DC. So for smaller spaces, like how do you address the seating, standing, situation, whether you're doing like a brunch dinner or
Yeah.
cocktails, like how do you suggest for people not to be intimidated by a small space, but to kind of maximize a small space?
It's a fun question because I also don't live in a very large house either. And I have a large family. And I typically bring my family and my friends together quite a bit here. So it just kind of depends. Are you an indoor outdoor type of
Mm,
person? It's always nice to have folding tables on hand,
yeah,
right? If you
yeah,
need to pull them out and have those extra opportunities. So kind of just depends on your people that you're surrounding yourself with. Do they
yeah.
like to stand? Are they comfortable standing? Do you have people who need to sit down? Um, as I mentioned before, while we were catching up,
Yeah,
I got married in my backyard, so bringing in tables and chairs was obviously needed. I don't
yeah,
have 40 booty spaces here.
yeah.
So it's good to either be able to know that you have the storage and you can keep the extra space at your own house,
Hmm.
like the chairs and the tables that you would need, as opposed to renting it. Because if we're still talking budget friendly, it can get
Yeah,
not friendly quickly because they're not that cheap to rent, unfortunately.
yeah.
Um, so I think it's just identifying if you have those individuals that would need to sit down,
Hmm.
get the tables that you would need.
Yeah,
I am I don't like undressed tables, so I would always say
yeah,
table linen,
yeah, yeah.
and make sure that that's taken care of. But I think in regards to hosting, if you are going to have such as Thanksgiving, and
Hmm.
that's obviously something where everybody would need to sit down,
Hmm.
that would be where I would recommend renting just tables and chairs
Yeah,
and a linen.
yeah,
And then, the other holidays where people are coming together and it's more just we're here to hang out and more than things like that. Maybe a few tables that you could bring in if you really wanted to rent them, but it's always nice to just have dedicated spaces. So if you have patio furniture, just make sure it's uncovered and fluffed so people can sit
yeah.
there, and just bring your decor out into that little space so people know that it's welcomed for them to sit there.
Yeah.
So,
And we have the benefit of being in Florida. I'm in South Florida, you're up near Jacksonville. So we
mhm,
can use the outdoors quite a bit, which is
yes.
really
Well,
helpful.
I have experienced my handful of rain during my events, but
Oh my gosh. It's been raining like crazy down here recently. It's been nuts. So never
you're getting
fun.
some fall weather because
Yeah.
it started up here, so
Yeah.
we're enjoying some 70-degree weather.
Ugh, I can't wait. And I think the other thing too is you were saying that, like, I think it's a good idea if you have a smaller space. Like think about maybe you were thinking about a sit down dinner, maybe thinking about like an open house dinner, like have people
Hmm.
come in and out kind of thing and adjust your menu that way. Or I know I move my furniture all the time. So
Oh
like
yeah.
my sofa is always stuck somewhere and people can use it, but like, it's somewhere it normally isn't. And the funny thing is I have an open floor plan and people stay in the kitchen. Like
Always.
it's unbelievable.
It's the
Like
heart of the house.
it's so funny. I'm like, look at all the chairs I found. Like, come sit down. So sometimes the best laid plans, people just stay in the kitchen anyway, or
Hmm.
like find their one spot and stay there. And that kind of leads me to guest lists. Like, how do you like to approach? We've kind of talked about family and friends, but
Hmm.
how do you like to approach or recommend if your clients ask you about the guest list? Like, who should you be inviting? How should you think about it? And make sure that it's comfortable for everybody.
Yeah. I think this kind of goes back to the beginning of the conversation of what's the end goal?
Yeah.
What's your budget look like? Um, when I'm having conversations with my clients, majority of the time, the question that I ask is, would you take this person to dinner and spend $150 on them if they
Mm,
weren't invited?
yeah.
And if the answer is no, then I don't understand why Great Aunt Susie twice removed is on your guest list. So it's honestly probably one of the harder questions
Yeah.
to answer because it's one of the harder questions or conversations to have with clients because
Yeah.
they do think that they need to have 150 people on their guest list because they've met them for whatever reason at whatever point in life.
Yeah.
But the question kind of always stands, would you take them to dinner? Would you spend this amount on dinner? Would you put your credit card down or debit card down and sign that and feel comfortable? And if the answer is no, it's an easier way to shape your guest list.
Yeah.
And I think that really just comes to a point of, we do work with bride and grooms and couples frequently who are getting married. So being able to have that heart to heart helps them develop their guest list a little bit further.
Yeah, I imagine for a wedding, it's probably a lot harder. And you also do corporate events, which is business. So it's, it's a little more cut and dry. You're like, yes,
Exactly.
I am willing to spend $150 on this person. And I think it's also, as you were talking, it's a way to think about it in terms of like, I may love this person and want to do that. And maybe that is a better fit. You know what I mean? Like maybe Great Aunt Susie doesn't need to come to my like birthday party where I'm going to have beer pong, you know, like that sort of thing. Or maybe she's a ringer. I don't know, but kind of thinking about that a little bit and the comfort level that people are going to have together too. And that flow as they're all in the kitchen talking, is, you know,
or you build out the timeline differently. Like I said, once the older crowd left from my birthday party, all of my friends hung back, and that was always the plan. So if you know that you want to play beer pong, but you also are going to have dinner beforehand, so you know that you love Great Aunt Susie so much that you want her here at dinner, perfect. And then they can just leave afterwards. It's all about the structure of your event. And I think, again, that kind of goes back to, in our initial conversation for budgeting, there's so many other conversations that happen, which that would be one of them. What's the flow of your event look like? What's the ultimate goal? And identifying what the purpose is and taking it from there. So if you need to reshape your timeline in the run of show accordingly to ensure that every single person you want is there, what is the next step to ensure that you're still getting what your goal is?
Yeah, gotcha. And do you have any, like, for the holidays specifically, I'll ask this, and then I'll ask it for non-holidays. Are there any, like, food items or cocktail mocktails that you're seeing right now that you're, like, super excited about and, like, adding into your events?
Yes. Late night snacks. Again, I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
Absolutely can die for an 11 p.m. eat before, you know, so we have some late events that happen, and it, like, people are drinking.
Yeah, get the burger truck.
A, I want to eat it, but like B, people before they leave eating somewhere. Hot dogs, mini cheeseburgers. We work with a catering company up here very frequently, and they are really leaning into design right now, which I love this movement. They've got a little ice cream cart that's on a bicycle, and that's going out for a couple of events, and I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Mocktails, I actually haven't seen a lot of them. I do have a client that's working with some cava, though, which is exciting to see what that looks like. It's more of a spritz-esque with that cava. And then I just always love a signature event that ties in whatever the couple's name is, the business name is, anything that can just really play up with. Specifically, I'm working on a Taylor Swift event, so like lavender haze spritz, things like that, that just like lean into the theme.
Yeah.
Can always just be fun.
Yeah. And I think
the glitter in the drinks.
Love the glitter in the drinks. I mean, if you can't tell, that's like my aesthetic, but the sparkle. But I think I love that you mentioned that, because again, you can take that for your own event, like, you know, and just print up a little menu or write a menu, you know, have fun with it. You can use markers or paint or whatever and make it your own, you know? So I love that lavender haze spritz. It's kind of cool. And what is, like, same sort of question, like, are there anything in the world of design that's like really lighting you up right now?
Lighting.
Lighting.
Pipe and drape, and that is huge. Just the swagging of the drapery is everywhere for, you know, corporate, for weddings, for, I have people who want it in their homes for their events, like for their actual personal events. I don't think it's going anywhere. I love it as long as it's got proper lighting with it. Again, we do florals. I'm a huge fan of
Yeah.
florals and candles moving into candles this holiday season are going to be huge.
Yeah.
We've got people who want what I was working on today for a Halloween event. It's a masquerade murder mystery party.
Love it. Love it.
She wants nothing but black candles. And I'm like, okay.
Okay. Now,
But yeah,
are they real candles or are they the like electric candles?
kind of depends on the venue. This specific venue allows you to have real candles
Wow.
as long as they are in a glass container. So utilizing hurricane bases. We will be doing some floor candelabras. So those will have the LED because the sleeves don't fit that specific candelabra. But I prefer real. I love the look of a real flame. But
Yeah.
well, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. And actually some of the electric, especially the smaller ones, look pretty good. Like they have the flicker
Yes.
and that kind of thing. That's great. And then like, what have you noticed? Because you've been in this industry for a while. Like, what have you noticed post-pandemic that has changed? Like, what are people really focusing on, if anything has changed post-pandemic?
A lot's changed.
Yeah.
People are really embracing themselves. I feel like, specifically because we don't do a lot of personal events. So in regards to hosting, I really kind of going back to the beginning of this conversation is like, what's the outcome that you, Megan, would want or me, Paige, would want? And it's not necessarily the focusing on the other people, because you could get 25 RSVPs and 20 people show up. And again, it's like, well, what was the end goal of it? And are you happy with that? And if you look at what corporate and weddings really look like in this industry right now, people don't care what other people want. They just want to make sure that them and their partner had the day that they expected to have. And I not to say that I love people being selfish, but I love that people are being selfish because this industry was so hung up on what others wanted at one point that there was just never a decisive decision that was made. And I think just based off of the clients that we've worked with, it's just going to continue that way. No, I know what I want, so this is what I want it to look like, and we're going to find it if you can't find it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also, it sounds to like people are more interested in their vision and not keeping up with the Joneses.
Correct.
Of like, well, it has to be the Pinterest board wedding, right? And
now we do have those people.
Well, sure. Yeah.
And that's why I say a majority of our clients, once they sign with us, it's really important for me to at least express, I would love for you to hop off of Pinterest or any social media. There are good things that can come from it, but then there are things where you're showing me something that your budget won't meet.
Right.
So allowing us to actually do our job in the aspect of the event design portion of our business allows you to see what your budget can actually bring to life, which most of the time is going to be better than any Pinterest when you let your creative freedom mix with our creative freedom.
Yeah. And then what is your feeling on like favors and like gifts for guests?
Yeah, that's a fun one.
And maybe it does vary. I mean, I think that like we can answer from like the smaller, intimate, hosting yourself event, corporate, and weddings, like those kind of three different categories.
Okay. So when you personally are hosting a gift or hosting an event and any of these holiday or a birthday or things like that, honestly, there's no reason to do a favor in my opinion, unless you are and you love to bake. Like I've got a cousin-in-law who bakes sourdough bread. Perfect. Like send everybody home with that. Don't spend the extra money. If you're the season right now for the holidays, simmer pots are huge. So like if you're somebody who likes to dry fruit or wants to put something together like that, perfect. But don't go spend extra money and take the reason of why you're coming together away, because ultimately there is a reason that you're coming together, and then you're adding more to your plate, kind of what we were talking about. It's one additional thing that you would have to think about during that time.
Yeah.
Corporate, I personally feel like we're moving away from, but in the same realm of public relations to brand relations. And I think that the days of the little tchotchkes or the cookies and the chocolates are going to be gone, because that doesn't do anything for the brand of the business that we're working alongside of and why we came together. And there's no ROI that can truthfully come from it.
Yeah.
They're going to take it, they're going to eat it in their car and throw away whatever was attached to it, if it's something like that. So taking it, not necessarily being a favor, but a touch point afterwards that can be done a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks. Hey, remember that event you just came to? Here is our brand relations reach out to you, whether that is Miu Miu just did an amazing where they sent out martini glasses and a martini with a microphone to influencers. So when they're talking, they're now going to see Miu Miu across the page. So things like that, where your favors are not going to be directly related to your event, but to your brand and what that overall looks like.
Yeah.
Weddings, please, let's move away from what we can do with the little things where the people who fly in now have to figure out how to put in a bottle of wine or
Jordan almonds.
I got a bottle of limoncello from a wedding I went to in Italy, and
That's
it
amazing.
broke in my suitcase.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's like
awesome.
you just spent money on something which is amazing, but you have to travel back with it. So we're in this day of making an experience for weddings right now, where people are doing merchandise, which is amazing too. If you have the budget for it, that's awesome. But I don't think
Wait, what do you mean?
Hats and shirts and sweatshirts.
Wow,
oh my gosh, I'll have to find a link and send it to you. It's really cool coming from the world I come from. But when, again, people are traveling in, unless like your guest list only lives in a 10-mile radius of where you're having your event, like there's no reason. In my opinion. Something small, matchbooks, like something that like is reusable. People can think about it, and then you can reuse in your home if you have 500 left over. Something that just makes sense.
I think I'd rather put the money into like a taco truck coming afterwards, or like, something, put it in for the end of the evening for people than like just taking stuff with them.
I completely agree with you. Something that just like would make sense for you as a couple and not the other individuals. Like they're already getting the experience of being at your event. So put it back towards the experience as opposed to that little tchotchke or something along those lines. And that can apply to any event, not just a wedding, but to hosting your personal event, corporate event, or anything. It should be the experience that you're giving your guest is the purpose of hosting your event, no matter what it is.
Yeah. And do you ever see, I probably should have asked this in the beginning, but like, do you ever see a common faux pas that hosts do that you would like steer them away from?
Not acting like a guest.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, not really. I don't necessarily think that there's a common denominator amongst everything, but truthfully, it's, if you are hosting an event, you should still get to be a guest at your event. I think that is the biggest thing that you just don't get to see as many guests, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think that's a really great point. And then this is just like a rapid fire question off the top of my head, but like, do you prefer like a grazing table or a sit down? Which do you prefer?
I love me a good grazing table, but it definitely depends on the type of an event. I'm not a huge buffet person unless someone is serving the buffet is kind of how I feel, especially post-COVID. Unless it's your family and you really don't care. Do not go and hire a waiter or waitress just to serve your buffet for your family.
Can you imagine? Well, I know. I think about that post-COVID. Like, I think a lot of people have thought about this, like birthday cakes. And we're just like blowing up. It's so funny. Anyway.
I am loving the trend for birthdays though, and even weddings right now too. where there is a cake involved, there's a mini cake for the birthday person. They get to blow out the candle, and then there's like a serving cake.
Mm-hmm.
And then right now, mini cakes as centerpieces, and each table is able to cut their own piece. And the bride and groom or couple or partners have their own cake that they get to cut and then share amongst themselves.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
This isn't the same thing at all, but I used to work at a country club in high school and part of college, and people would have these like huge cakes, and only one layer was real and the others were decorated, and we had sheet cakes in the back. And I always just thought, I mean, these were like, and we're talking late 90s, so like these were $50,000 to $75,000 weddings. I mean, like so much money at the time, and I thought it was so clever. I was like, that's so great. I love the idea of the mini cakes, and
Yep, it's still a thing.
Yeah. And that's where
the big cakes are coming back too.
They're beautiful. They really are. But that's why a professional like you is involved, because you know these tricks and tips and can figure it out for people. And so we talked about, you do weddings, you do corporate events. If someone's listening to this and like Chicago and is like, oh my gosh, I would love to get your advice on an event. Like maybe you can't be here in person. Do you also consult with people with the planning process?
Yes. So we have consultation packages for pretty much everything from our social package to our corporate to our wedding. We also do travel. So we do destination weddings. We've done Colorado. We've done several in South Florida. I actually have one in Vero Beach in January.
Nice.
Hoping I can get down to the Keys soon. We travel pretty much wherever it's needed. I've got I don't even know if you know this, but I've traveled for my sorority. So I did events within 50 different states, all of our states. I've pretty much been.
Wow.
And then I've done one in Europe and one in Mexico. So
wow. So you've
got the background.
You've got it covered. Yeah. How was it traveling abroad? Like there's challenging enough interstate. Like what were some of the things that you found planning abroad or find planning abroad?
Well, language.
Sure. Yeah.
It's always a barrier.
Yeah.
But then shipping specific things. So if you couldn't find a vendor in the area, it's either bringing the vendor, or if it's supplies necessary, it's how to actually coordinate with bringing things abroad with you, that you have to give them reasons as to why you have to bring certain things. So always making like not necessarily the excuse, but the reason is that you have to bring your equipment, and why you can't find it in a certain area. But then also you're not necessarily traveling with a team where we've got 4 or 5 people here that we rely on. I'm not paying for travel for 4 or 5 people. I would pay for my associate and then bring staff on from whatever location. So working with a staffing company in that area of making sure that people are qualified to do so.
Are you seeing any trends in like for destination weddings or retreats right now?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely wouldn't say necessarily retreats, because primarily the people who are looking to build their team, they want to be in the area that they're building their team. But for weddings, they are skyrocketing because of our industry right now and where we are in the economy and what's going on, and where you can see what we're paying wholesale for something, and it's probably what someone could get elsewhere for that cost, and not have to have what our markup is. And that honestly, where it's trending is Italy, as we were just talking about. So
interesting.
It's going to continue to go up, and even where the Italian economy is as well, they're going to stop allowing people that are not from Italy to come in for external vendors that are traveling. So many people who are planning weddings or events in Italy will most likely see the uptick of people who are from the United States not being able to go over there.
Interesting.
So
wow.
It is very interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when that plateau of Italy, like what the next destination will be, if it's something similar or different. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, these all sound great. I mean, you really could have said any country and I'd be like, oh, that sounds great. Belize, awesome.
Anywhere not here.
Great. Yeah, I mean, it's like but it is interesting. I mean, it seems like, now if you're working with a hotel, maybe that's a little bit different, but it does seem like such a good investment to have an event planner if you're going overseas. Just thinking about all the intricacies that you need to deal with. I'm imagining a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot that people don't think about, especially if we're comparing international weddings to, or even just events, but primarily weddings, to American weddings, and what people want, those large bouquets and the installments of florals and the welcome signs, and every touch point that you would get here is, well, how are you getting it over there? If you have somebody who is a florist, that's awesome, but the florist may not also be a designer that can create the sign. So how are you shipping it? What is your, what vendor are you selecting to build something online or create like a foam board? And then where are they sending it to your venue? Do they send it to your planner? So there's so many other things in this particular realm of events that are becoming trending and uprising, and everything that's happening could take place because they want to have what they see here in America as their wedding over there because it'll save them money. But then are you paying more money because you're paying exorbitant shipping and everything that's taking place? So
also, as someone who wants to move to Italy in a few years, nothing works the same way. Okay, we'll go together. I'm also curious what the locals there think of us with like some of what we just expect from a wedding, right? Like if they think we're crazy or...
they love it. It's thriving their economy.
Exactly. They're getting paid, so they love it. The more, the better. That's awesome. This has been so much fun. Is there anything that like we didn't talk about that as people are listening and now they feel empowered to host and are like getting all these ideas? Like, is there anything that you really hope people walk away with that we didn't talk about today?
Yeah. Well, maybe that we didn't necessarily talk about, but something that they should definitely walk away from is that anybody can host. You don't have to be a professional, and the outcome is for you to just have fun and to be with the people that you love one way or another. Now, if you're looking to host something super large, my recommendation is to make sure you fine tune your budget.
Yes. Well, first call Paige in good company, and then she'll help you fine tune the budget. And I think we're probably going to talk again because I want to learn about like how this became and all that kind of good stuff. So I'll save that for later. But this has been such a fun conversation. How can people find you?
You can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, all under ngoodco.events. And then on Facebook, it's ngoodcompany events. And then our website is www.ngoodco.events.
Awesome. And we'll link all of that in the show notes and social and all that kind of good stuff. Paige, this was awesome. I am inspired. I'm ready to like host and have uplighting and linens. And I'm like, this is so much fun. And, and it is really fun because you get these ideas, and I'm someone who loves to cook. Like, I wouldn't necessarily bring someone in, but there's so many things I didn't think about that I'm going to take into my next event. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Good. Great. I think that you should do it. And maybe next time we can talk about how I want to host monthly dinner meetups and things like that.
Yes, we should. And then offline, we should talk about a 6-year plan to move to Italy together. So
yes, perfect.
Awesome. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Wait, What Do You Do Again? For more information about today's guest, or if you'd like to be on the show, please visit megdeford.com. See you next time.